Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Anime Brain Freeze. We are your samurai hosts.
I am John.
And I'm CC. And when there's just too much cool anime to watch, we've got you covered. Today we bring the adventure in spades because we will review the first season of the new adaptation of Yaiba Samurai Legend. And of course, since it's our season finale, we will pick our best anime of the season. But before all of that, there is a couple of leftover shows we have to tackle in the Quick and the Dead. So grab your favorite magic sword, hunt down those 7 legally distinct dragon orbs to unleash your full power, and definitely don't pause the pod. We'll be right back. Alright, yeah, we have a bit for the Quick and the Dead. I have 2 shows. John has 1, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna start us off. I watched the second season of Kaiju No. 8. Which, you know, or the second core, who knows at this point. The second set of episodes. I don't even know, I think it was 12. So, yeah, we kind of stopped with the big reveal to everyone that Kafka is Kaiju No. 8. That was revealed to everyone in the defense force, whatever. And he was imprisoned and about to be, taken out, put down by Kikoru's father, no less, because he's like the top dog in the defense force, like he's the commandant, whatever. But then in a fight, Kafka was able to convince Kikoru's father that he is able to control its Kaiju No. 8, or at least willing to control it, trying to work on that. And then they decided, okay, we're going to keep the guy around, under supervision, of course, but he is the best weapon we have against the other kaiju. So we would be stupid not to use it if there's still a human inside of that. And Kiko's father is like, as soon as I smell that he can control the kaiju inside of him, not anymore, I'm gonna take him down. So that is the status quo at the beginning of the season, and they drop all pretenses in the first episode and put a "We have Godzilla at home" on the screen to attack the city, which was funny. It's like, that's just Godzilla. That's not even remotely. That's just the old school king of kaiju. Like, that made me laugh. But all right, we got a couple of colorful new characters, like for example, Gen Narumi, the captain of the 1st Division of the Defense Force, which we haven't met yet, and he's a messy gamer boy. He's a slob.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but he's fun. Like, he has like this giant ass sword and knows how to handle it, and he's he always clashes with Kikoru and everything, and they have kind of like a brother sister. Not problematic brother-sister relationship in a way, but
about time.
Yeah, it's fun. Like when those two are on screen, it's fun, and Kafka's on probation. Like I said, if he loses control, then he will be killed and turned into a weapon for someone else to use, because that's something that was introduced in the previous season. Like kaiju. Most of the kaiju that get taken down, that get killed, are used, or at least the big ones, the numbered ones, get turned into weapons, and then those are used by normal humans.
Taking a little bit of a page out of Monster Hunter, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would not be surprised if the creator of this manga played a lot of Monster Hunter, actually, because it definitely feels like that in more ways than one. So, but yeah, Kikoru's father, director Shinomiya, has like, I think he has the weapons. He has like these gloves, the power glove.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Like, he has two of those. I think that's the weapon that was made from Kaiju No. 2. And later in this season, we have Reno, one of our main side characters, who was for a while the only one who knew that Kafka was Kaiju No. 8. He gets like a suit made from Kaiju No. 6, like an ice suit. Like, he gets ice powers, which he has to learn to control, because it's not super easy to learn to control these weapons. It's actually super hard. For Reno, that is actually pretty much the arc in this season for him. Like, he gets the spiffy new suit. And he has we have his dynamic with Iharu, who is worried that he can't catch up to everyone else because everyone gets ahead of him. Like his main rival, Reno, gets like this new suit, and it's like, man, I also want that, and I feel like everyone is getting away from me. Even I was one of the best ones in class and everything. But Reno has the same worry, so he's hellbent on unleashing his full combat potential without any consideration for what that does to his body. Like he suffers several heavy injuries in the test fight against the Hanju. But then there's this moment when Captain Ogata, another new character, is about to pull the plug on him. Iharu carries Reno out of the danger zone and demands that Reno will let Iharu be his support. He's not supposed to do all of this by his own because they're a team, like the whole defense force is a team, so they can take down the Kaiju as a team. It's like, and he says, "You're younger than me, so shut up and rely on me," which is a cool moment. And they take down the Hanju and high five. It's very cool. Really nice bro moment, which this show is full of. And we have a nice scene of Kafka together with Captain Hoshina, which is one of the most badass characters in the show, like the super quick ninja skills with his 2 short swords or whatever. And he was the one hot on the heels of Kaiju number 8, but also was really trusting Kafka. So Kafka, of course, has a guilty conscience because he kept that secret from him and everything. But then they have this nice scene together where Hoshina forgives him for keeping his identity as Kaiju number 8 to himself and thanks him for saving the 3rd Division, even knowing that transforming in front of everyone might have gotten him killed. He did that to protect them and stop like this giant meteor that Kaiju number, I think 10 it was, threw at the base. And they have a training session in front of the memorial of the oldest recorded Kaiju battle, which was apparently in the 1600s. And Kafka spots like the ghost of a samurai or something really interesting. The show hasn't followed up on that yet, so I wonder what that was about. It was like really, okay, what is going on here? But I assume that wasn't just, for fun and giggles in there. So we'll see where that goes. And Kafka is worried that everyone in Division 3 hates him now because he's a kaiju. But when he turns on his phone for the first time in 2 months, he gets a heartfelt call from Iharu and Reno and reads all the messages from his teammates wishing him well, and it's moving him to tears. It's just super good vibes. Like, that made me feel really happy for him because he's such a likable character. He's one of the most likable main characters I've seen in quite a while. Like, not only because he's our age group, John, but or even, I think a bit below us. I think he's like mid 30s or whatever, but
jeez, that's practically ancient.
That's ancient for
terms.
anime, yeah. But he's much more relatable, right? So I love this character. I love Kafka, and it's always nice to see him like have getting a good time, even though has gotten through a rough patch or whatever. So yeah, but it's all not fun and games. The main antagonist, question mark, since the beginning was kind of Kaiju number 9 who appeared and was evolving kind of in front of our eyes, and he seems to be the coordinator. He was apparently responsible for instigating the attack on the base of the 3rd Division in the finale, kind of, or almost finale of the first season, and he's still around, and there is there's an attack from him, and that kind of triggers a couple of important moments. Like we see flashbacks of Kikoru and her mom together. She died in a kaiju attack. We know that from the first season. And these flashbacks are, bittersweet because her mom was such a strong woman and force of good in Kikoru's life. And you can see why Kikoru is so driven, because she couldn't fulfill her promise to help and protect her mom by joining the defense force when she was still alive. And now she's hellbent on becoming the best to protect everyone else. And you can also see a much softer version of her dad in those flashbacks before the death of his wife filled him with the undying determination and hatred that is, to exterminate all kaiju. And, Kikoru, the season also puts a lot of spotlight on Kikoru in general, which I liked. Like, she gets Kafka out of his funk in the beginning of the season by reminding him that he has strong comrades that won't be killed so easily, even if he goes berserk, and also that he should believe more in his ability to learn to fully control his power and the kaiju inside of him. And she finally gets the long overdue well done from her dad, which, she was so eager to get in the first season. Like, there was a whole drive besides the stuff with her mom. You know, she has earned that already many times over and deserved to hear it from him much sooner. But it's still very nice to see her face light up and her eyes well up with tears of happiness. Like, she's the best girl in the show. It's no contest. Like, absolutely. No, she's not the quote-unquote main girl, but for me she is. But sadly, right after that heartwarming moment, her dad gets eaten by a severely leveled up version of Kaiju number 9.
Oh.
Yeah, who is after Kaiju number 2's weapons he uses, and he gets completely absorbed. He might still be in there, but it seems like he is dead now. And Kaiju number 9 is wearing his body. So that sucks. That's definitely is like in the midpoint of the second season. But it's like, woof, okay, Jesus, that Kikoro can't get a fucking break. It's horrible. And yeah, number 9 says it will bring about the age of Kaiju and then kind of fucks off with director Shinomiya's body. We learn that Kafka's transformation is progressing. The more often he transforms into a Kaiju, the higher the chance he eventually won't be able to transform back into a human. So there's like this, should you, what will happen? Will he eventually be taken over? Does he have to be taken down? The same kind of accounts for using the weapons made from Kaiju, because not necessarily, they don't get necessarily taken over by the Kaiju, but it's like saps the user's life force. So if you use a weapon too often, you die from it. It's like, okay, maybe not go overboard, which is also the thing Reno is struggling with, right? And in the beginning, director Shinomiya as well. And I guess Hoshina eventually too, because he gets the best, coolest thing, the coolest suit of them all, the coolest Kaiju weapon, because his battle suit is made from Kaiju number 10. The cool part is, since 10 is the first sentient Kaiju that was turned into a suit, the suit talks. So him and Hoshina constantly bicker and banter during the fight like an old married couple. It's amazing. They have like diametrically opposed fighting styles, so it's not easy for Hoshina to handle 10's headstrong, always go for the strongest opponent nature. But once he learns to somewhat control him by dunking on him in a certain way, like triggering him hard, they become a goddamn powerhouse that is really fun and awesome to look at. Like, I want a Figma of Hoshina in that suit. It's super cool. It's got a tail and 10's big red eyes on the eye on the chest. Much more of a human kaiju hybrid styled suit than any of the others. It's really nice. It looks damn awesome. And the fight that it first like gets showcased in is also amazing. And of course, Mina, you know, Kafka's I don't know, bride to be, but you know, the girl he's pining for is also in the season. She takes out a couple of kaiju with a giant ass railgun. Why not? Like, this show, when the show goes big, it goes super big, so it's very fun. Kikoro is inheriting her mom's number 4 battle suit, which gives her the ability to fly, which is also awesome. And then by the end of the season, like after the halfway point, there's like this tease of, weird new kaiju appear, but they immediately disappear once they're like captured on camera or whatever. What's up with that? And then by the end of the season, the teased kaiju 11 to 15 appear in front of everyone. So everyone gets their one-on-one shonen battles with their designated opponents, because number 9's plan was it to split all the strong fighters up with the first wave and then kill them with its new squad of numbered kaiju. So he sends in a bunch of normal kaiju and then the numbered ones to separate everyone and take them out in one-on-one battles. And the new numbered kaiju are designed specifically to counter the abilities of the respective defense force members. 9 did its homework. And yeah, I think the season ends with an awesome fight of Kikoro against 15, which is especially fucked up because 15 uses a human form that looks like a dark mirror version of Kikoro. And then Kafka also intervenes in that, and I think the season ends when he unleashes his kaiju form. So yeah, there's more to come, but the season was awesome. I don't know if it was as good as season 1. There was a bit more downtime, I feel like, and training stuff, right? Than outright. I mean, there was a very pivotal moment with Kikoro's father getting killed, but aside from that, there's more like training arc and character building and everything, which I don't mind. I liked it a lot. So yeah, I am looking forward to more of this. it's just, pushing all the right buttons for me. It's what I want out of a shonen battle show. It's got awesome kaiju designs. It's got awesome weapon and suit designs in this one. Like you said, Monster Hunter vibes and everything. And I love the main character or the main set of characters. Like all the dialogue between those characters is so fun, and a lot of good vibes and everything. So yeah, love that show. It's great. So looking forward to the 3rd season whenever that is coming around.
Nice.
Yes, John, what did you have to talk about?
I want to talk briefly about cultural exchange with a game center girl.
Mm-hmm.
Started watching this thinking, this is nice and cute. And, it is boy meets girl. They bond over video games.
Girl speaks English, right?
Yeah, yes, girl speaks fluent English. Boy sort of is trying to learn how. And I'm like, oh, this is, kind of a sweet story. And then I stopped for a second and I was like, wait a minute. How old are these characters again? The main character, Renji, is 18.
Uh-huh.
Lily is 13 years old.
Ooh, okay.
So I kind of was like, all right, okay. And I kind of stepped away from it after that.
Okay.
I think this is a cute show. I think this age gap is kind of dumb. I don't think it needed to be written like this.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, they could have easily, made him, I don't know, 16, 15 or whatever.
Or made her, 15 or 16, yeah.
Yeah, or aged her up, right? Or something like that.
Because it gets weird because his sister is friends with Lily. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want her to know that, he's been seeing her at the arcade. And it's like, brother, if you have this problem, did you maybe think a little bit about this? And the answer is clearly no, you didn't. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like I said, it's a very pretty show. It's really well animated. The characters all look great. It's got this bright pastel-y color scheme to it. It's got all of these really good things going for it. And then if you just sort of read between those lines just a little bit, it's sort of like, brother, I don't know.
I mean, if it's just friends hanging out and playing games, that would be fine. But I assume they're still going the romantic route, right? With the theme.
It felt like that's what they were trying to do. And I think I got out on the 3rd or 4th episode, and I was like, okay, all right. I mean, apparently the story is still going anyway, so it's not a complete adaptation.
I mean, at least it looks nice, like you said. And if you,
the studio Nomad, they're doing good work on it. So I can't get down on them because of that. It's just it's hard to get around the actual subject matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's a problem. That's a weird decision. I don't know. Maybe if they keep this going long enough for her to turn 18 or whatever, but still would leave a weird aftertaste in your mouth. It's like,
Like he would just be getting out of college, assuming he's going to a 4-year school.
Yeah.
And she would just be starting, and I'd just be
that
sitting there like...
That is not necessarily a problem. I feel like the problem would be more like in the back of the head, your head, you would be like, dude, have you been grooming this girl for 5 years, or what is going on? It's like, And
I mean, he suffers from the Kazuya Kinoshita problem of being dumb.
Oh, no.
Maybe not to that degree, but,
that's tough.
Of not having any foresight, I mean.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well,
and brother, please, what did you think was going to happen? Why do you?
Yeah, bummer. Sounded promising when you talked about it in the sneak peek.
I hate when there are these shows that are like, oh, this seems neat, and I want to like this, but then
there's one thing.
There's that one thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, and maybe it's just me and other people are enjoying it, and I hope they enjoy it. So that's basically the long and short of that. So, and you had one more for us?
Yeah, I had of another second season. I was watching the second season or the second cour, whatever, of Dandadan season 2. It's definitely second cour-ish because the first one just ended right in the middle of a new arc, and it just stopped, and it didn't even, acted like this was like a season finale or whatever. It just stopped because it's a manga adaptation. And we just got acquainted with a new character, Gigi, the old childhood friend of Momo, the main girl, and him, and her first love, the first boy she fell in love with. So automatically a rival for Okarun, our main male character. And so they investigate this haunted house, and this is right where season 2 picks up right with that, where that left off, and this leads to the gang having to deal with a cult that sacrifices people to a giant serpent god. And
as you do.
And Gigi fuses with a spirit called Evil Eye and delivers some righteous kung fu soccer on said serpent god that turns out to be just a giant sandworm. The problem is he also has a grudge against all humans, so he and Okarun have an epic clash, and Gigi also definitely giving Urien from Street Fighter vibes in his getup as Evil Eye. And all of this culminates in a chase to stop an erupting volcano and a giant battle royale, and that's only the first 4 episodes of this season. This show is so insane, and I love it. It's crazy, especially the battles, of course, but also everything else around it, and all the setup and whatever, and all the crazy creatures and people that they meet, and the people worshipping the serpent god are these elder people, these retired folks, super old people who can deliver the maddest kung fu shit ever. It looks so ridiculous, but it's very funny. It's definitely a riff on old people in remote villages and everything. So it's just, this show is so fucking funny, and also incredibly well animated. Science Saru is just, holy shit, bringing their absolute A game. All the battles, like I said, look insane. Although most of these in the second court don't have the puzzle elements. A couple of fights in season 1 had. One of them has a bit, I guess. But I feel like that almost everyone in the first season had that. But they look fantastic regardless. So after that, they have to deal with one of the several fallouts from this arc. The first one being that Gigi is still possessed and transforms into Evil Eye every time he comes in contact with cold water, or cold substance, cold fluid, whatever. And this can be undone by dousing him with hot water. Fucking Turbo Teen over here. But that's easier said than done. And it leads to the whole game shaking up at Seiko's house to keep an eye on him. And the solution to all this apparently is an exorcism. But of course, since this is done, not an ordinary run-of-the-mill exorcism, but what else? A power metal concert exorcism. Which is fucking awesome, John, and I showed you that clip. The best part is that the band has no spiritual power whatsoever. They just rock so hard their music reaches into the spirit worlds. And I feel like that's, considering, the music that they show in that scene, that is appropriate. It's metal as hell. Apparently they got Marty Friedman, the former lead guitarist of Megadeth, to co-write and perform that song for the recording. And the lead singer for the English dub version of that song is Mark Hudson from Dragon Force. That's dedication.
That's so cool.
That's so awesome. When I found that, I was like, yo, they went the extra mile for this shit. And I love it. Eventually, though, Seiko decides, who's the grandmother of Momo, incredibly hot grandmother, is still super young for some reason, just has gray hair, but everything else looks like she's in her 30s or whatever. Seiko decides to add Evil Eye to the family because Gigi begs her not to erase him from existence, because Evil Eye's backstory is pretty tragic, and Gigi is the only one who sees him because they saw that because they fused together and everything, so he empathizes with him. But after a while, they realize it might be impossible for Gigi to keep Evil Eye fully in check, so that becomes a problem and pretty much dominates the rest of this season in one way or another. But it's not all battles and, oh god, what we gonna do, whatever. There's also the romance stuff still happening in the background between Okarun and Momo, which was one of my favorite parts of the first season because it's one of my more liked versions of this, where it's not a will they, won't they, but it's a very much like how will they, like when will they, because it's so clear that these two are meant for each other, and it's very nice to see them like take this road slowly, and there's a lot of obstacles to overcome, but you definitely get the feeling these two are meant for each other, and they will end up together. You're very sure of that. The show makes that pretty clear, and all of their scenes are cute together. All the scenes together are very cute, but there's a lot of funny shit also happening in that regard. One of my favorite scenes from this season is when Momo's besties, her two best female friends, drag Okarun to a maid cafe Momo just started a part-time job at, just to tease her, because that's the kind of friendship they're having. It's very mean, but also very funny, and poor Okarun just doesn't know how to handle it. It's incredible. We also get a great montage backed by soft piano music without dialogue of Momo getting more and more bored and annoyed with her job, which is a mood. It's very funny and also relatable. And then when her shift finally ends, even though she asked him not to wait for her, Okarun comes to pick her up and they hold hands for the first time on the way home. It's very sweet. I love it. It's so great together. And we get an unusual training arc since they introduce the concept of Turbo Granny, the creature that possessed Okarun's body and stole his dick and his balls and whatever. That her power, or his power in that regard, is rhythm-based. So there's a musical component to it, which is cool. And to improve Okarun's skill in that regard, Turbo Granny makes, who is now residing in the body of this good luck cat statue, whatever, and hangs around with the gang. Don't think too hard about it. She makes him and Ira, one of the other main side characters, fight a ghost orchestra, which is awesome. Like, the focus on music in the season in general, I really loved. It was really great, and the soundtrack of the show is amazing, of course. But, also have that be the theme, and also, the recurring theme and everything, and the fights being styled in that way, and so on. That is really nice. But that particular fight also looks really cool because pretty much everything is black and white or grayscale except a couple of highlights like the clothing on the musicians or Okarun's and Ira's hair. It's a really neat visual aesthetic, and I liked it a lot. And of course we now have the rivalry between Ira and Momo over Okarun's affection now on the one side, and the rivalry between Okarun and Gigi over Momo's affection on the other side. None of this has come to a real head yet, but it's, of course, a catalyst for a couple of things, even though we know Okarun and Momo are a pretty safe bet and meant for each other, like I said. And the last couple of episodes has the gang fighting a space kaiju to get Okarun's last ball back. We also get another mainstay added to the core cast, or at least assume he's gonna be, Kinta Sakata, who is an even bigger sci-fi nerd than Okarun, and whose vivid imagination is able to turn Seiko's house into a mech, naturally. That fight is visually arresting and awesome and funny. I loved it. And it's just, we have something like that in the show. We're gonna start a review in a couple of minutes, but I feel like this looked even a bit more special. And it's really great. It's like one of the best kaiju fights I've ever seen, and goddamn, this show looks fucking awesome. And then, in the very last episode, in the very last scene, it turns out that kaiju was piloted by a hot alien lady, who wakes up and immediately steals Okarun's first kiss from Momo, and that is literally how the season ends. Good times, and what a dramatic cliffhanger, everyone. So
wow,
I loved it. So that's gonna be a problem in the next season, and I don't even know when that's coming. But I'm on the edge of my seat. I need to see it. I'm so looking forward to it. This is definitely one of my favorite shows in recent time. I love every second of every episode. It's funny. It's creative. It's incredibly wild. The shit the show throws at you, and I cannot recommend to everyone to watch this hard enough. Like it's strongly enough. It's an amazing show. It's fantastic. It's got the heart. It's got the humor. It's got the action in spades. It's got the looks. It looks amazing. It's just a fantastic show. Like down to down, everything that was promised to me in regards to this being the hype is delivered. I just love it. So yeah, with that being said, I think we're done with the Quick and the Dead, and we're gonna move over to our last review from summer season 2025.
Yeah, so our review this time is a little bit of a throwback show. It's Shin Samurai Den Yaiba.
Also known as Yaiba Samurai Legend, I guess?
Yes.
At least this incarnation of it?
Yes, this is a retelling of an old show from the 90s. We touched on a little bit from the sneak peek, authored by one Gosho Aoyama of Detective Conan fame.
Both are based on a manga, right?
Yes. I apparently misspoke when talking about the old adaptation, though, because that one was not technically complete. It went through the story arc that started at the tail end of this adaptation.
Interesting, but there's still more coming after that?
Yes, there's like 4 more story arcs after that appear to be a lot shorter in terms of how many manga chapters they have.
Interesting.
There was a shorter one that, from the looks of, from what I read, they kind of interspersed through a couple of episodes early on. So I guess they can sort of gloss over that later. If they do intend to make this a complete adaptation. Which,
maybe they're also just gonna adapt only the arc that was just started at the end of the season again and then stop. Who knows? We'll see. But it would feel like kind of futile to do that. Like if you don't adapt the whole thing, then why do a remake of this? Like, unless the old show was shitty. I haven't seen it, but I assume it wasn't.
I mean, it had enough traction for it to come back.
Yeah.
30 something years later.
Yeah.
What's this show about? It's about the following. Deep in a tropical jungle, young Yaiba Kurogane diligently practices swordsmanship alongside his father Kenjuro, completely unaware of the modern world. However, one day the two end up in a container on its way to Japan. There they encounter Kenjuro's old rival, Raizo Mine, and his daughter Sayaka. Out of other options, Yaiba agrees to a deal with the Mine household. If he beats the strongest student in their dojo, he will be welcome to stay. Using his distinctive skills and extraordinary strength, Yaiba earns his place. Wanting to fight more powerful enemies, Yaiba follows Sayaka to school, where he quickly loses to Takeshi Onimaru and acknowledges him as his new rival. With Onimaru inheriting the sword of his bloodline and obtaining demonic powers, Yaiba must train to become even stronger and beat him for good. Thank you to our friends MAL Rewrite for that summary.
As usual.
And yeah, this is a new adaptation by the crew that at this point needs no introduction, Wit Studio.
Yeah. The other big thing besides Spy Family this season, although that's a co-pro with Cloverworks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they've been working alongside Cloverworks on that since the beginning, I think.
Yeah, this is entirely their thing. I would say, is it their... Nah, it's not their first big shonen action show since Attack on Titan. They had Ranking of Kings, which kind of goes into this direction, I would say, because this is like you said, it's a throwback thing, like considering the material is 30 years old at this point.
30-ish. I forget when exactly the manga started, but I could look that up real quick while you speak.
Yes, so it definitely, that kind of is evident from the get-go. First, in terms of style, like the show got very cool cartoony designs, old Dragon Ball or Ranma-esque, very bright color palette. It's really nice to look at. Of course, it's a wit, right? So They know what they're doing, and it's very creepy. But also just in terms of inherent designs, and if you've seen Detective Conan, you know what the character designs are like, because that's, you know.
Yeah, there is obviously a direct line between the two, and you can see it very clearly.
Yes, they also drop a reference somewhere in the show about Detective Conan. I don't know if you picked up on that, because I don't know if you ever watched that show.
It was really subtle, but I looked back at it after. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to give that away, or for people who watch that as well find that out. But yeah, it's fun. It's very like one character mentions something, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I know that from that other show.
That thing that I know, I clapped when I saw it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I wonder if that was also in the old show, because I don't know if he did Detective Conan before Yaiba or after it.
Oh, okay. I'm finding here that the Yaiba manga ran from 88 to 93, and the old adaptation was 93 to 94.
Yeah.
Detective Conan has been running for approximately 200 years. The manga for Detective Conan started in 94 and is still running to this day.
Yeah.
Case closed, as the show was localized as, started running in 1996. What do you mean?
So that's a follow. So that's his follow up. So I assume either the reference wasn't in the old show, or they had, he already had done a beta version of Conan or a one shot or whatever, or maybe of one of the characters that appears there or whatever. So it's but it was interesting, right? Immediately that jumped out at me and was like, there we go. All right. So yeah, but aside from that, this show is very much like an old school show in terms of humor. Like lots of loud reactions, lots of funny faces on humans and animals alike. Definitely has that Saturday morning cartoon vibe down.
Oh yeah,
I would have killed for something like that. Like, as a kid sitting in front of the TV on a Saturday morning with a bowl of cereal, and then just watch this unfold on my screen. Holy shit!
Right?
I would have kicked my ass. I would have just been addicted. And it kind of reminds me a bit of the Mappa's Ushi and Tora remake, which I reviewed on our show. Although this one being geared to a much younger audience, I feel like.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a very light show in terms of character development, in terms of, like I said, humor, in terms of story. There's not that much story in this show.
It's very straightforward, and I think that's fine.
That's totally fine. Like, you just need to know what you're getting into. This is like I said, it's in more ways than one, and I alluded to that in the intro. It's in more ways than one very early Dragon Ball, like heavily inspired by this in so many ways.
You have to find the 7 dragon orbs. The what now? What did you call them?
Yeah, exactly. Also, just like that show, a couple of somewhat edgy jokes, I guess, because Yaiba walks in on Sayaka undressing or in the bath, for example, but it never gets explicit or downright gropey, like in Seven Deadly Sins, for example.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably something they toned down from the original.
Yeah,
which good.
I wonder, did they do that for the Ranma remake in regards to, for example, Happosai or something like that? Did they tone him down?
Happosai has one big episode that he's in, and then he sort of appears maybe once or twice after that. And it's like, it's very nice that you're not constantly around because you're very annoying and kind of gross.
Yeah, but for example, there's like this character called this character you've never heard of, Musashi Miyamoto, the legendary swordsman Musashi, who is like this old guy and is like 400 years old, literally, and he's. I expected him to be much more of a Muten Roshi type, right? Like being constantly trying to look under young girls' skirts or whatever. But he isn't really doing that. There's like one episode where he's trying to sneak a peek or like two in a bath or whatever. But that's about it. Aside from that, aside from being partially a goofball, an old guy, he's mostly matter of fact and just staying away from that stuff. And like you said,
I mean, he does cause trouble for Yaiba in a later episode. Where he's like, you need to climb over the wall and see what they're doing.
It's training. It's stealth training.
It's training to see what's going on in the women's bath, and then Yaiba gets found out very quickly, and then oops.
But that's probably, like you said, something they towed down from the original material, which the same with Yaiba himself. Like I said, there's some scenes where he walks in on Sayaka undressing or whatever, but it's never like he never gets like, oh, I want to fondle this girl or whatever. Or so it's more like Goku-ish, where it's like he just doesn't understand what the big problem is, because he doesn't understand girls, because he's never met a girl, because his deadbeat dad like let him grow up in a fucking jungle fighting all the time, only taught him the bare minimum aside from fighting against giant gorillas. That's
but I mean that we learned that Yaiba has some like animal affinity though, and he's got some animal friends that join him. So
thankfully join him, like Kagetora, who's a tiger, and Shonosuke, who is a vulture, I guess.
Vulture, a buzzard, or
something like that. Who is unironically the MVP of the fucking show. Let's not kid ourselves. Like Shonosuke is like the guy. Like he pulls the. He like saves the day so many fucking times. He's like a beast in battle in terms of versatility and everything. He saves the gang's ass in a trial later on the show, and things become really harrowing for a while, and I got really upset. And man, his animal friends, like Yaiba's animal friends, are great. And they're more in the fights than I expected them to be. I just expected them to be mascot characters and be like, hey, they're here, and then maybe occasionally for the funny bits. But no, especially Shonosuke is like in a lot of the fights, because that is a very strong bird that can carry a lot of people on his back.
Oh my god, Shonosuke was voiced by Ryo Horikawa in the 93 adaptation. He's literally Vegeta.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, he's more mild-mannered than Vegeta, I would say, and he's, more friends with the main character, but he is on the same power level, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That fits.
That's funny. No, I might want to go back and watch some clips of the 93 version just to hear him
doing bird
his voice.
Yeah. And then overdub these sounds with parts of Dragon Ball, like use them on clips, and Vegeta opens his mouth. Yeah, you have your project, John. No, bring that to the people of YouTube. Like,
find out for that, Shonosuke.
Yeah, also do it vice versa, right? That would be amazing as well. But yeah, he's definitely one of the best characters in this show. But we got a lot of fun characters in this show. Like, aside from Son Goku / Yaiba, we have Sayaka, main girl, side character, running around doing all the adventures with him. I like that she wasn't purely a damsel in distress. Like, she helps out a lot. I wonder how much of that is also an upgrade from the original version. Because she helps taking down some of the enemies, also with help from other people, but still she's there. She carries an orb around for a while and everything, and she just is there and is a motivation also for the main character and everything. I just I wish for her to be more part of the actual fights in regard to fighting herself, like having actual sword fights, because she's also Kendo's student. So you just have that lying there that can also wield the sword, and the show doesn't really do anything with it. There's like one scene where she actually has a sword fight with another character who appears, and that's kind of it. I feel like that is a missed opportunity, but that's not the fault of the show. That's the fault of the source material, where it's like, why? I mean, different time. Like 30 years ago, I guess, strong female side protagonist not as wanted maybe as now, but I feel like, hey, why would you introduce her as being also, she could have just been the daughter, but no, she also studies the sword. So why not have her actually be more part of the fights against especially the lower minions, and there are a lot in this show. Like, we haven't even talked about like much of the main twist of this after like the first couple of episodes, where Onimaru, the main rival of Yaiba, if chosen main rival by Yaiba, which is like,
you're my rival now. What? Huh?
Yes, I mean Onimaru like clearly outmatches Yaiba in the beginning because Yaiba has a very not a thinking man's fighting style. I guess he's very brash and everything. He can sense
very reactive.
Yeah, very reactive. He can sense auras and everything, which is cool, but he doesn't, put much. He's not planning ahead a lot. And
okay, interesting. So, in the old adaptation, Onimaru. So there were some voice actors pulling double duty on both versions of the show because Onimaru was voiced by Horikawa, and then voiced by Kenjiro Suda in one of the Detective Conan movies.
Awesome.
Huh.
But yeah, so Onimaru, Yaiba goes to school, they go to the training dojo at school, and he fights Onimaru and then decides, oh, this is my rival, he's so strong, I want to beat the guy. And then, they have a couple of run-ins, and Yaiba gets better and, actually manages to beat them in their first serious fight. And I really like that Onimaru is plagued by nightmares of Yaiba annoying him. It's like, wow, okay. he's down. He definitely has now PTSD or something. But as the name foreshadows, Onimaru turns into an actual Oni when he takes possession of an old family sword he finds in his basement. And kind of becomes this super powerful guy who attacks the school, and Yaiba can't really beat him and everything. And then Onimaru kind of decides on a whim to take over Japan and then the world, I guess. Why not? Feels very Saturday morning cartoon evil guy, so that works.
They have this one cool fight through the city and they end up on the back of like a box truck. And Yaiba knocks him off and he's like, yeah, I got you. And then gets his head smashed into a traffic sign. It's a very dynamic, awesome fight with just this ridiculous resolution. It's like, okay, you got what you deserved, kid.
Yeah, but he still beat him in that fight, and
Yeah, but he's such a little
shit. Yes,
yes.
He's a little dumbass. Like, and he has the best shit-eating grin. Like,
so it's like, yeah, the guy you wanted to win won, but then he got, his comeuppance effort for being the little weirdo that he is. It's like, okay, that's still pretty funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the show is very funny. I mean, a lot of it is old school humor, right? Like we said, it's very loud reactions and everything, and there's some also more subtle jokes in there, I guess, especially maybe if you know Japanese history to a degree, because, well, first Onimaru summons a bunch of ogres, like the 8 ogres who turn out to be all a bunch of goofballs, who can't really do anything much aside from maybe 2 of them or 3, like kind of all animal themed to a degree, like all the enemies in the show are, not only Yaiba's friends, but also pretty much all the enemies run into, and the 8 ogres are like, we have a snake, we have a frog/toad character, we have a sea cucumber, we have a starfish, mantis, I don't know what else, a bat who is
there's the spider.
Like Spider is the main is Onimaru's main guy. Like, he's the right-hand man.
I find his name infinitely hilarious because the localized name is Mr. Spider, which, okay, fine. Where the original name is Kumo Otoko, which literally translates to Spider-Man, which, oops, we can't use that name, I guess.
Yes, and for Mr. Bat, it's even funnier because in the subs, they actually say bad guy instead of Batman. Which is,
God.
It's really good. And
yeah.
And he, aside Spider, I guess Snake, although he gets taken out pretty quickly, and Bat, like they are the capable people of these 8. Like, they know what they're doing, especially Bat, I would say. Like, he's a force to be reckoned with. for a while there and sports glorious English catchphrases.
Also, don't forget to say the full name of Mr. Snake. It's Julius Zupopotamus the third. The third.
Very important. Yes. It's really funny. Like I liked all these bad guys. The problem is like most of them of that first wave, they're just goofballs.
They're just jobbers.
Jobbers in every sense of the word. Like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And some of them join with the main gang, right? Like Frog joins, Sea Cucumber joins, and they have important parts to play in later battles, partially, which is fun. Starfish.
Garazaimon and the Sea Cucumber are both great characters. So.
Yes, especially and you know, Sea Cucumber is very cute, and we run into Starfish later on, which is and his family, which is very funny.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was funny too.
Yes, it's really nice, like having recurring characters. So yeah, we have. This is pretty much the setup for the whole show. Like once Onimaru turns into an actual Oni, it's like the first half of the show is, hey, we gotta first. Onimaru has like this magic sword, right? And he has the orb of the wind god Fujin Ken, whatever is the name of the sword, I think. Mm-hmm. And it has wind powers. And then Yaiba gets himself the lightning version of that, the thunder version of that, called Raijin Ken. And he gets that from this old guy, and that turns out to be Miyamoto Musashi. And then once he takes out all the ogres and develops also a new technique, it's about storming Onimaru's castle and beating him and everything. And that doesn't necessarily go the way he planned. And then the second half of the show is, okay, Onimaru is now flying around in the sky, so how do I get to him? I need something to be able to fly, because Shonosuke, as awesome as he is, can't carry all of us, so whatever, I need power that can make me fly, so I'm gonna get these mysterious 7 dragon orbs, or one of them is apparently the orb of the dragon god, and so that can apparently make me fly, so I'm gonna get that. So we go have this cross-country adventure where we visit a bunch of different locations, and in every location there's like this one fight with someone, usually a person, one of the new set of bad guys Onimaru summons, because after he's done with the 8 ogres, he summons warriors from the past, or the souls of warriors from the past, and has them reincarnate in animal bodies. So we get like these cool, first we get them in human form, and then at a certain stage in the battle they transform into their animal form. So it's all bloody roar up in here. And
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, zoantropes. And all of these, and that's where I come back to the initial stuff with the humor. All of these characters are characters from Japanese history, actually, like from Japanese stories or whatever, and myth and legend and whatever. You have Goemon Ishikawa in there, the famous thief, and you have a bunch of other characters in there. Wait, who else is there? Jubei.
Got Jubei, Yagyu, Kojiro, Sasaki, Tokisada, Amakusa. It's just a whole motley crew.
Right, and all of them have distinctive animal personality at a certain point that I guess kind of matches the personality or the ostensible personality of the character from Legends or whatever. So that's fun. Like, there's a lot of fun, probably a lot of in-jokes that flew over our heads, but that are probably fun for the Japanese audience. And
it's sort of like, oh, I know these names from other anime and from playing other games. So, you can at least go in knowing like, oh, I know this is a historical figure, and you can kind of run with that.
Absolutely. And I mean, we have had a bunch of other shows who did stuff like that. For example, Zenkoku Basara was all about that. So
put your guns on, man.
Yeah, especially Date Masamune is not in this, but still, it's fun, right? And I feel the show does a pretty good job at keeping the fights varied due to all the different animal creatures. Like after the halfway point, there's like an awesome battle in at sea and then in the sky and everything, and it's all very like different. Also added to that each orb Yaiba collects has a different power. One has fire powers, one has water powers, one makes him big, and one gives him the ability to transform. He uses all of the power that the orb he received in the previous episode to fight in the battle of the next episode, and so on. And that's fun. There are a bunch of those, so that also keeps the fights varied and the visuals varied, right? Because it looks all a bit different. And, the fights have to go a certain way, and there are some enemies that fight more directly, and some of them that fight more stealthily and use backhanded methods and everything. And Yaiba has to find a way around that, think his way out of certain things and everything, which is not necessarily his forte, but sometimes other characters help him. So, and he's a spunky little kid, so he always tries to find a way out of this. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun things going on. And I wasn't even done with our main cast of characters. Aside from Musashi, who joins and becomes one of the big mainstays, we also have Kojiro, one of his old rivals. That was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, who has the sword who gets revived as a kind of zombie by Onimaru, or Spider rather. And then he has the sword that can extend, which leads to some fun battles, and also it leads to Yaiba traveling back to the past and see the past of Musashi and Kojiro and their rivalry, which was also fun. So the show has a lot of fun ideas, even though a lot of it is I've already seen this technically somewhere else. It's very familiar in terms of what it's doing and where it's going with this.
Kojiro in particular is funny to me because he comes back as this zombie, and he's got these reddish pink eyes for most of the show until closer to the end. You just put some eye drops in and they're back to white, and it's that. What do you mean? That's all it took?
Modern medicine, of course.
Huh? But that one really caught me off guard. I was because that's just his look, and that's how we know what he is. Okay, it was that simple. All right, sure.
Yeah. It's another great joke in this show. I feel like the show you can't underestimate, because I feel like a lot of it, like I said, is geared towards younger kids, but there are really some really just funny general audience jokes that just work. You have when they get trapped in this onsen hot springs thing by starfish and mantis and sea cucumber, and there is frog Gerozaimon talks about, oh yeah, we had this cast these capable characters, and they were pretty strong guys, and there's this guy called Mantis, and he's the best actor, and he has he can transform himself, and he can pose as other people, and you Mantis, and he's just a blanket over his over his head, and acts like the grandma from Red Riding Hood, which they directly reference that. Actually, Sayaka comments on that. It's really funny. It's just you expect what is he gonna do? Is he gonna change his face like Snake did in the previous episode? No, he's just he's just trying to act as a grandma, even though he clearly is a giant mantis. Get a lot of good jokes in this show. Cannot complain. Of course, not every joke lands, and some of it is very childish and very dumb, but there are some really good zingers in there, and I enjoy it. Talking about funny names with Snake, I also loved Chameleon Bonaparte. A little chameleon literally wearing this outfit, typical Napoleon Bonaparte outfit with the hat and everything. It's really good. It's just stupid. It's
so silly.
Very stupid and silly, but also very funny. If you can dig that kind of silly humor, you're in for a treat. The show is stock full of that.
They hit me with that, and I was okay, this fits. This is all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the main attraction, I guess, of the show is the action, though. Because this is straightforward, one of the most classic shonen action shows you would see nowadays. Like, it's just straightforward. Pretty much every episode has either a training montage or a training episode, or has a fight between Yaiba and one of the main bad guys. And Yaiba is doing pretty much all the big fights. Like, he finishes all the enemies. You have other characters joining in on the fights. Like, you have Musashi doing some of the stuff. You have Kojiro helping out, Jubei later. You have Nadeshiko, the kind of fiance of Yaiba, but that was a misunderstanding. Again, very Dragon Ball coded in terms of Goku and Chichi and how they ended, how that betrothal happened.
Yeah.
Though Yaiba is not, the mistake also is on her part, and it's a bit more easy. It's easier for Yaiba to wiggle himself out of that, because he she didn't ask, like, she just assumed that he understood what she meant, and he didn't, because of the word soba, but you kind of feel bad for her, that he's kind of like still giving her hope in a way, because he's gonna end up with Sayaka at the end of this probably. Yeah.
I mean, I still like Nadeshiko because she can fight and she's cool.
She's absolutely cool. Again, same with Sayaka, even though to a lesser degree, because she actually takes part in the fights and she's a strong fighter. But I feel like she had more of a, for a lot of the side characters who can actually battle, I wish they would actually be the ones who take out some of the bad guys. But ultimately, Yaiba is the only one who does that. Like, I
mean, maybe we'll see some of that in the next season.
Maybe, yeah. We probably just need a bit more bad guys for that. Oh, we had plenty of bad guys in this. So Yaiba had to prove that he is the one who gets all the orbs. But you're right. Maybe we get some lesser, because in stuff like, I don't know, One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, you have your side characters and they have their own fights that they finish, right? And the characters that they beat. And you don't really have that here. Like, Yaiba is the one who is maybe pitted with the other characters against the bad guys, but the final blow and everything, usually, I think there might be one or two exceptions from this, but usually comes from Yaiba. And it's like, it's okay, it's totally fine, but I would have liked to have, more for the other characters, maybe some personal fights in there. But like you said, maybe that's gonna happen in the next season. Who knows? It's still fun of having them there, right? Even though it's not all of them all the time. Like, the cast changes a bit here and there. And at least they're always helping out. But again, the main player is Yaiba, but he's also the main character, so that makes sense. But yeah, it's fun. Some of the bad guys are even familiar to Musashi because, he's been around for so long and knows some of them or whatever. So that works. And yeah, like you said, Nadeshiko is cool, and she also joins the Orb Hunt and whatever. And there's this awesome moment where Yaiba transforms into a raft. All right. Nadeshiko is so happy that she can ride him. It's like, okay, Jesus.
All right,
girl is down bad. But yeah, fun times. I mean, I expected there to be more of a rivalry between Sayaka and her, but it doesn't really get played up that much. Maybe because there's no time for it, but
it feels a little unspoken. But it's kind of there.
Yeah. The show doesn't really deal with that much because there are battles to fight, and it's like, it's also not like this like the romance, quote unquote, between Sayaka and Yaiba gets any real spot. Like, there are these moments where they talk about it technically, or it's like there's an important moment in the show where Yaiba is like, hey Sayaka, you're actually in love with me, and it completely flusters her and whatever, and I think someone else is saying that to her too, right? And you understand that she clearly likes him, maybe even more, for several reasons, but that's kind of the extent of it. Maybe that also there will be more of that in the second season, because there is like this obvious hint at that she's going to be put in peril in the second season due to a specific thing that happens. We'll talk about this later in the spoiler section, but I hope it's not going to be a fucking Nezuko situation from Demon Slayer. Hey, Sayaka at least gets to talk, so that's nice.
Yeah.
A lot, actually. Like, she is an important character.
Sayaka has agency, Nezuko does not.
Yes, Sayaka is an actual character. So, it's more than I can say of fucking Nezuko. I like that girl, but goddamn, did Demon Slayer do her dirty in several ways.
I mean, maybe she'll have actual stuff to do in the Infinity Castle, but
not so far, John. I've seen that movie, the first one.
Are you serious?
I told you that. Like, she is not in that fucking in that first movie. Not for like 10 seconds. Oh, you'll find out when the TV version rolls around or whatever. So. I'm interested to hear your reaction to that.
Now that you say that, I don't know, but I feel like I have ideas, and that's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I always expected there to be something with her, that she's gonna be the damsel in that, because we know what the main goal of the main bad guy is, but so far she's not really part of that fight. So
that's so lame.
Yeah, it's absolutely weird. But I expected worse. I didn't expect better from this, considering how she was treated in the previous show. I hoped for it to be better for a minute there, because there was like this moment at the end of the previous season where she actually gets to be in the sun and whatever. And I thought, oh, now she can start, and she started talking finally, and we said, oh, okay, now she's gonna become an actual character. And then we go right back to her not being in the show at all, and I'm like, okay, all right, fuck you too, Demon Slayer. I still like the show, and I like that movie because it's visually arresting, but just saying, that's just one of the biggest betrayals in anime history. But yeah, back to this show.
Okay. Thanks, Goto. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, back to this show. The action is awesome because Wit is just delivering a visual feast in terms of battle choreography. There's so much shit happening. Like, you get a first glimpse of that in the OP, where so much shit is happening. They even do a second version of this for the second half, where the cast changes a bit and the goal of the cast changes a bit, what they have to do, and same song, but the visuals get adjusted and everything. The final version of the OP even does the thing John hates, where it does the actual sound effects over the OP.
I despise that so much.
I laughed when that happened, because like, oh, John is gonna hate this.
Just let the song rock, man.
I mean, you had that for 23 episodes, to be fair.
I know. I don't care.
But yeah, so you get just a showcase of all the crazy shit that is going to happen in the battles in the OP. And sometimes the OPs look better than the show itself. Not so in this case. Even the second OP even has some parts in it that kind of look worse than the actual fights in the show, because it gets a bit framey. I don't know why that is. It just jumped out at me in the second version of that OP, where it's like you see all the resurrected bad guys, one quickly after another, and some of them feel like weirdly half animated still frames and something like that. So that was weird.
At least the effort is there in the rest of the
absolutely.
show.
So it doesn't matter, right? So because all the fights in this show are fucking gorgeous, and you have like the super bright color palette and everything, and you have a lot of squash and stretch technique applied, where it's like the characters feel, the way they move feels very Western cartoonish, like Looney Tunes-ish in terms of all the crazy shit they do, and they get set on fire and they look like a burnt toast or whatever and stuff like that. They have like these giant eyes. You have like these animal characters with big eyes and everything. And it looks all very kid-friendly, and something you necessarily don't see as much from shonen anime these days, just in terms of design and what the battles look like, because, these are very clean and grim and stuff like, if you compare shit like this to Attack on Titan, like, it's like you can't believe that this is from the same studio, just in terms of visuals, at least in terms of visual style, like character designs. Of course, that's because of the source material being different, But, also the color palette and the animation of the characters and everything, it looks so different. I feel like the only commonality you have between these two shows are the amazing tracking shots, because there's several of those in Yaiba as well, where you just follow the character, especially Yaiba, either if he's like sitting on Shonosuke and riding through the sky, or if he's surfing like a wave in the amazing water battle I talked about earlier, or if he's just running across trucks or whatever, and on a busy road or whatever. There are a bunch of those in this show, and it feels like, oh yeah, this feels like a witch show in that regard, because I've seen this kind of awesome shit in Attack on Titan before, from this perspective. And the camera is very active, it shifts around a lot, it circles a lot around the characters, and especially when Onimaru and Yaiba clash, all their fights are awesome. Like the first fight when they're still like both in human form, and then you have their clash at the top of Onimaru's castle, which is also amazing. And they both, Onimaru is in his Oni form, and at this point Yaiba also, can technically transform into a version of the Thunder God, I guess, whatever. It looks like fucking Sonic the Hedgehog on steroids.
Yeah, a little bit of super energy.
Yeah, supersonic energy. Definitely. Live and learn. So yeah, that's open your heart. How many more song names am I supposed to throw out here? But yeah, it's.
I am all of me.
Yeah. Wait, where's that from?
It was Shadow the Hedgehog.
Ah, right. Okay, I've never played that, but I intend to, because they recently put out the remaster for that. I guess, or a part of that, new missions.
Play the version that. Oh no, you're thinking of Sonic Generations.
Yes, Generations. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog. I played the version with the patch. We only have to get 3 endings to get the true ending instead of all 14 endings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not gonna do that. But yeah, so the fights are awesome, and then we have at the tail end of the show, we have another awesome multi-stage fight where everyone unleashes their full power and everything, and it's awesome. So yeah. It's just, if you're like, okay, is the show gonna be for me? That heavily depends on how much you like shonen action shows, especially if the action is kind of most of what the show is, and not much else. Like I said, there are fun characters in there. There are a lot of fun jokes in there, and it looks very pretty. But if you want to go for this, you need to love action, and I do. John also does, and the show delivers that in spades. But if you're like, hey, I also want serious character development and some deep story or whatever, and some super dramatic turns,
you're looking in the wrong place.
Kind of in the wrong place, because this is a very old school show, even more so than the Ushio and Tora remake, because it's more geared towards younger kids. There's not much blood in the show. There's a bit of it, but it's usually very light. The stakes are technically high, because Onimaru wants to take over the world, but the fights don't necessarily feel like it. A lot of them are goof-fest because the enemies are so goofy, and they look awesome, like I said, but it's not necessarily like, oh my god, it's everything right. Oh my god, everything rights on this, and Yaiba winning this. So, it doesn't necessarily feel like it.
Considering the scale has changed at the end of the season, maybe that will have a different feeling.
Yeah. Sure. We'll see. Yeah, let's talk about that, because that's something that happens at the very end of the show, and that, let's say we're doing spoilers. I mean, we spoiled a bit here and there, but we try to stay vague. But to talk about this, I guess we have to go into full spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything more about the show and want to check it out for yourself, please do that. John, where can people watch it?
It is on Netflix. I think that's pretty much exclusively where it is. Let me double check myself. Okay, it's apparently on Hulu as well, but I don't know about you. I watched it on Netflix. There's a dub now too. I did not watch any of the dub. Usually I like to try and check that out to see how the English voice acting is, but might go and look at it later. But
yeah, okay, yeah, check it out on Netflix if you are so inclined. Right before I go into spoilers, there's we talked about this being probably updated from the original. There were like some things where it was obvious, where, you know, characters have smartphones now, and that was obviously not in the old show. I think another character, one of the characters, probably Sayaka, mentions the faux version of Instagram that also wasn't in the show. She also mentions that people stream all the time now to Musashi when he asks her to tape something from TV. So these gotta be all new jokes.
Yeah, I mean the first ending sequence is just a series of Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So which is very fun ED. I also like the second one that focuses on the Oni minions that are having a hard time.
It's just that one is awesome because it's just one big musical number.
Yeah. I really like the EDs of this show. They're very fun. There's this one episode with a guy called Kerokichi, who's like this kappa, and he has a PlayStation 5 in the show. I wonder what he had in the manga and the old adaption.
Oh,
considering the time, it probably would have been an NES or Super Nintendo.
Yeah, probably a Famicom or Super Famicom.
Yeah. So, but I wonder. I didn't think to look this up, but it was like, oh, okay, he's holding up a PS5. So, wonder what it is in the old version. maybe a Genesis.
It could be, a good old Mega Drive.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. This is
maybe he had a PC engine.
that would have been cool too. But yeah, so they definitely did some trying to adapt it to more modern version, which other shows have done as well. I feel it's doing that pretty successfully. Like
it doesn't feel as intrusive as some other shows have tried to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as intrusive, and it also doesn't feel like it's running into the problem where it's like, okay, characters have smartphones now, so why don't they just call that person at that moment, you know, to help out or whatever. But, you know, like I said, the show is focusing on Yaiba being the problem solver anyway.
Yeah, that was my problem with the banana fish adaptation.
Yeah, so banana fish had some problems with that. Not as egregious as problems it had recently, but that was thanks to Amazon.
Hey, yo, I love AI slop dubs.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. But yeah, so spoilers ahead. In the final stretch of the episodes, first of all, the show does a thing where it pretends to kill off side characters one by one.
Yeah.
If it had stuck to one of them, I would have bought it for longer because I was very distraught when they trapped my boy Shinosuke in a room with lava.
Oh, that one was
brutal.
Mean.
When it was just him, I was like, oh my god, did they kill him? You know, you don't see it. You don't see them burning him alive, but I also don't expect that from a kid's show. So I was like, oh my god, did they actually? Because they really take the time for, like, Yaiba to be, like, more in everything. It's like, fuck. But then, one by one, the other characters also fall to their death or whatever. It's like, they're not gonna kill the entire cast in this kind of show.
No, yeah. When they started doing that, I was like,
Yeah. So that was, I mean, I'm happy everyone survived, but it's like
it created some nice tension in the moment, but
yes, but it was like as soon as they like got rid of like Gerozaimon and some of the other characters, like, okay, all right, I know what you're doing here, but it was still fun, even though you know where it was going and it was all a test and everything. So I really like that. I like that in the fight, Yaiba gets to use like the whole set of his dragon orb powers, whatever, that kept the fight really varied. Like I always like when I let's put it a different way. I hate it when characters gain new abilities and then they use them exactly once, and never use them again. And I was afraid the show would be doing that because that was kind of the thing where it's like, oh, okay. Yaiba gets a new orb, uses it in the next episode, and then gets a new one, and he uses that in the next episode. And then, you know, and I was like, oh god, will this be, once he gets the Dragon Orb, he is not going to use any of them? No. In the final battle of the season against Onimaru, he uses all of them, and it's amazing. Like, it's cool. Like, that's all I wanted from that fight. Like, him just unleashing all of his full potential. Like, it eventually wears him out, but it was great. And then then we get a last-minute final boss reveal, which gave me Naruto flashbacks, because that show did that as well with the same fucking bad guy.
You're right. I didn't even think.
Yes, last-minute Kaguya from the moon, coming down with her spaceship with all her bunny lackeys. And she apparently has a grudge, centuries-long beef with the dragon god. And since Yaiba holds that power now, she's intent on taking him down. She's Itano circusing the shit out of Yaiba in one scene, which looked amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so kind of, I guess the fight between Yaiba and Onimaru is on hold for now, because Onimaru is I'm gonna take out that wench first, and because she's standing between me and my goal for world domination. So apparently it's gonna be in the next season, the full-blown war between Kaguya and Onimaru, and Yaiba is gonna be in the middle of it. First he has to get his stamina up, but that's probably gonna be the next season. So that was a surprise. I didn't see that coming. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they dropped it on us in the second to the last episode. And I was like, unless they're going to do this in 2 episodes, there's got to be a second season. And then they out and announced it. I was like, okay, all right. So they can give it some time to breathe.
Yeah, we get a to be continued screen at the ending of this. And there is already an entry for the second season on several sites. No date yet when that is going to hit, actually. But it's happening. So I'm always glad when that is the case, because I never know with WIT if they want to do that or whatever. So, and I don't know if they're working on the second season, but I assume they are. So, we'll see how much that covers, because, like John said in the beginning, after that arc, there's still more to come, and we don't know if they're going to cover all of this and adapt all of this.
Yeah, because all the arcs that come after this are significantly short, because the first 3 arcs here that we covered are the big bulk of it. And then there's just other shorter stories after that, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, there still has to be the resolution between Yaiba and Onimaru, because that's still going to be brewing in the back.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
So
and maybe they'll also team up to beat Kaguya, because they have to at some point.
Probably that would make sense.
Put their rivalry on the side, right? Because I can't beat her alone. You can't beat her alone. So we have to team up, and they begrudgingly become allies. That would be a take. That would be something that could happen. So we'll see. Interesting setup. Interesting last minute twist where it's oh no, we're gonna do this. Also, suddenly the show gets super dark. It's there's Kaguya. Is you needs this soul the soul serum, which gives her eternal youth and also her powers, or I guess her powers come with her youth, and so she abducts a bunch of Earth women, and not all of them are suited to her needs, but the one that is, she sucks dry, she literally sucks the life out of her, the youth out of that woman. And that is that scene is straight out of a horror movie. That was fucking terrifying. It
is unsettling.
Yes, I didn't expect something so dark from this show. It was awesome. It's whoa, holy shit, what's happening? If that is the tone we're going for with the next season, I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen with this. I mean, Dragon Ball got a bit darker and bloodier the longer it progressed, so that might happen to Yaiba as well. Interesting, very interesting. Because so far, every enemy that Yaiba also beat doesn't, they get pulverized technically, and the soul goes back to the afterlife, and the animal survives and whatever, so it's not like he's cutting them apart, really. I wonder if it gets a bit more bloody in the second season. It doesn't have to, but I can see that happening, considering that scene at the end of this, that even freaks Spider out. So we got a space vampire woman on our hands. But yeah, fun show. I really liked it. I thought it was a breezy watch. It's, like I said, it's not deep. It's not It doesn't have a really super engaging story, but if you want to have a good Saturday morning throwback cartoon action show with a lot of varied fights, with a lot of cool anime designs and everything, and some funny jokes and all of that, and it looks really good, is really well animated, then this is it. Check it out, because just fun time. We told you where to watch it. Go to Netflix if that is sounds like something you would enjoy. But also don't expect anything beyond what we just told you about it. Like, there is not that much to this show. It's just what you see is what you get. And that's pretty much it. But what you get is pretty fun.
Sometimes you just need that every once in a while.
Yeah. Just a nice, simple show to look at and enjoy and have a good laugh once in a while. And that is what Yaiba is. Yes, so that's it for our final review of this season. But there's still one little thing we have to do. Best of the season. So yeah, best of the season. I think we have the most reviewed shows we've had in quite a while. Like, I feel like there was a lot. Like, if you count the Quick and the Dead stuff on my end, definitely for me, it's like the most wide selection of shows I could pick from in terms of best of the season material. And if it's okay for you, John, because I'm already in flow, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you what I picked, and then
go for it.
Yeah, so both Kaiju number 8 and Dandadan season 2 were loads of fun. I just talked about them in the Quick and the Dead, but both of them already got a best of the season award from me, so they're out. They don't have to get it, and we had a lot of other strong contenders, so I'm just like, okay, that's it's great. That takes a load off my shoulders that they are not serious contenders in that regard, because they already got their dues. So Sakamoto Days, Yaiba, and The Summer That Hikaru Died were also good, or very good, but I'm pretty sure they maybe haven't delivered their best yet, and also there are other more seasons coming, so they got another chance. So I'm like, hey, sure, this could be like, it could be Yaiba the next season that comes out, depending on how that battle goes, or it could be a new season of Yakamoto Days, or I said in my review of The Summer That Hikaru Died that I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, where it's like, okay, I'm still waiting for the show to actually tell me what it's really about, or where it wants to go, and that hasn't happened yet, so I'm definitely waiting for that. So that leaves me with two main contenders this season, Anne Shirley and Takopi Original Sin. And I loved Anne Shirley, I really did, but I also think the second third of that show was not as captivating as the other two, and it really rushed through its material. Nitpicks, yes, but they're there. Still recommend to everyone to watch that show who want a bit of a different thing from anime and more, adaptation of classic literature and everything, which we don't get that much in this medium, and also want a nice throwback that goes into another direction than Yaiba is doing, because, Anne Shirley is also a new adaptation of much older material. So, it was good, but I'm going to give it to Takopi's Original Sin, because that show took me on a wild, dark, and insane ride that I didn't see coming. Very emotional, very heart-wrenching. It had some interesting and important things to say. It looked good, and it grabbed me by the heartstrings and didn't let go. Very much deserving of a Best of the Season award, and I recommend all of you to watch it if you can stomach its plenty serious and dark moments, which the show kind of is entirely that. But it's also got a lot of heartwarming moments too. And is smart, and like I said, has a lot of interesting and important things to say. So, yes, Takopi Original Sin, my best of the season for summer season 2025. John,
nice.
What is your pick?
Well, we just talked about Yaiba, and it was great, but we know it's coming back. So, like you said, there could be something even better than what we saw here. Same with Sakamoto Days. Season 3, part 3, season 2. We know it's coming back. We know that for sure. So it'll have its moment again. Hey, CC, how about Rent a Girlfriend? It's not even in the running. It's out.
I would have been surprised if it was. Like, if you said, well, I like parts of this season. It's like, what?
I mean, I like that Chizuru and Ruka showed themselves to not be stupid and easily manipulated by Mommy. That was probably the best part. Everything else was so... I don't think I covered that when I talked about it in the review. So I guess I'll talk about it real quick. There's a moment where Mommy says to Ruka, "What if I told you can have Kazuya right now?" And Ruka's like, "What? Shut up. I'm not an idiot." And I'm sitting there like, thank you. Thank you for not being I know you're crazy for this other character, but thank you for exercising some level of intelligence. Yes, the show is hot garbage otherwise. So I think I'll give it to City the Animation because there's, as it stands, it is a complete adaptation, but it sounded like Arai might be going back to the drawing board. So who knows? Maybe it might come back eventually. But as for now, it is complete for what it is. And it was so much fun. It was so colorful and so crazy and bombastic that I think it deserves it. And if it comes back, who knows? Maybe it could deserve it again. But, that would be a long ways down the road, I think. Long enough to let other shows come in and have their shot, too. So, yeah, I thought it was really great. And just some of KyoAni's best work. I mean, they always do great work. So
for sure. I'm glad that they're back on their feet.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Definitely, I always look forward to when I see their name attached to a show. So, and this was no exception.
Cool. So, yeah, check out both these shows. And if you can, or a lot of the other shows, not Rent a Girlfriend, but a lot of the other shows that we talked about in our episodes this season, because there were a lot of good to great ones. Depending on what you like in your anime. But yeah, with this, we are done for this season and for the year 2025. 2026 will be a special year for us as it marks the 10-year anniversary of our little show. We started doing this little project on January 31st, 2016. What is time, John? But we had a lot of fun doing it, and we don't intend to stop, but we might make a couple more changes to the structure of the show. But before we get to any of that, we have a bunch of new anime premieres to discuss from winter season in the not-too-distant future. So we wish you all a good and safe ride into the new year and hope you will keep listening to our merry little podcast in 2026 and beyond. Talk to you soon. Goodbye, everyone.
Happy holidays and take care, everybody.
And that is a wrap on the 175th episode of Anime Brain Freeze. All the music in our podcast is from the Double Dragon Neon soundtrack by the amazing Jake Kaufman. Please go to virt.bandcamp.com and check out his awesome work. Find us where all the podcasts live, but also check out animebrainfreeze.com for our review index and more. Please leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast app of choice if you can. Follow us on the socials or send an email to animebrainfreeze@gmail.com. We would love to read your feedback. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had a good time, and please join us again on our next episode. Macht's gut.
So long, everyone.
Next time on Anime Brain Freeze.
The gloves are off.
And don't bother putting them back on.